And this is called the Tarot of Bacchus. So here's the Fool. Looks a little glary. I'm trying not to be too... Hope they show up. There's the Chariot. And the Devil. The Sun. Here's the Ace of Swords. The Five of Cups. The Eight of Coins. And the Ten of Wands. Oops. The Knave of Swords. The Knight of Cups. The Queen of Coins. And the King of Wands. Again, it's another very colorful deck. Normally I don't like this style of painting, but this is so together. I really like this deck. So I hope you enjoy it. It's called the Tarot of Bacchus, and it's also by Scapini. And now we start getting into a really unusual deck. It's bizarre even. And it's called the Hexen Tarot 2.0. And we'll see how well this fits. So here's the Fool. It's Aldous Huxley. It has very famous personalities on almost every card. Here's the Chariot. I believe that says Norbert Weiner. Here's the Devil. That one doesn't have a person on it. It's a concept called the Control Society, and then there's a big long diatribe on there by Brian Holmes. And here's the Sun. The Ace of Swords, which is actually on the cover of the box. Here's the Four of Cups. Guess I couldn't find the five. The Six of Pentacles. And the Ten of Wands. I'm going to have to move the box out. Here's the Knave of Swords. The Knight of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. It's a really bizarre deck, and honestly that's why I got it, is because it's so weird. I would never consider using this as a divinatory or fortune-telling deck with clients because it's so bizarre, but it's a very cool conversation piece with other tarot readers. And it's just kind of fun to go through the cards and read all the stuff that's on there, because there is a lot of writing on these cards. And again, that's the Hexen 2.0 Tarot by Susan, and I'm gonna mangle her last name. I think it's Treister or Traister. Now this next deck, again you can see that I've got a taste for the unusual, is from Russia. Oh, the box lid came off. Urgh. And it's called the GOM Tarot. This is actually GOM in acrylic. And I have no idea what that says. I think it says something about Kabbalistic or Kabbalah. tarot, because it does have a lot of stuff on this deck. This would be another deck, and I should have put this in with my ceremonial tarot decks, and I've had it over on a different shelf because all of my big decks are on a different shelf, so I forgot that I had this. This is the Fool and the Chariot, the Devil, and the Sun, and I'm definitely going to run out of room on this deck. That's a 2 of Hearts, a 3 of Clubs, the 7 of Spades. They're marked up here on the top. The 8 of Diamonds. Unfortunately, I do not read, I don't know if it's Cyrillic or Cyrillic, Russian. I don't read it, but I had to have this deck because of all the symbolism on it. It was just an amazing deck. I'm gonna have to move that. That's the Knave of Hearts, the Cavalier or Knight of Clubs, the Queen of Spades, and the King of Diamonds. So there are just all kinds of symbols on here for elements, for I don't even know what those are. This is their Hebrew seals of some type. Down here are geomantic symbols. These are actually parts of the Kabbalah, Tree of Life, and it's showing the pathway between different points. And of course then they also have the astrological symbols. It's just an amazing deck. Very colorful, and I think that's all I have to say on that. They're color coded per suit, not so much on the trumps. The colors do mean something. However, I haven't had time to look it up. They're also really highly glossy cards. Very slick. They slide around a lot. Again, that is it's often just called the GOM Tarot. GOM Tarot. It's out of Russia. Now we get a very familiar deck. I hope it's a very familiar deck. It's the Rider-Waite Giant Rider-Waite, and it is giant. There's a regular deck of cards. There's the Fool, the Chariot, the Devil, the Sun, the Ace of Swords, 5 of Cups, 8 of Coins, and the 10 of Wands. And I think I'm just going to have to put these on top now because they're getting to be not enough room over there. The Page of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Knight, or the King of Wands, excuse me. And so that's that deck. It's very large. It's great as an instructional tool. You can set these up and even if you don't have magnets, you can set them on, excuse me, the little marker holder or the chalk tray underneath. And if you have a classroom or any kind of whiteboard, if you have one that you're using for instructional purposes, you can set them on the lip, the lower lip. And that's what I bought them for, and that's what I use them for, is as an instructional aid. They are also great for meditations. Now the next deck is the Builders of the Adytum deck. It is a Majors only deck. It's also printed on plain cardstock so that you can color them in yourself using either markers or colored pencils or what have you. Watercolors even, if you feel comfortable doing that. And since it's Majors only, so here's the Fool, the Chariot, the Devil, and the Sun. It's a very similar imagery to the Rider-Waite, slightly different, of a few more symbols than are on the Rider-Waite, and you color them yourself. Majors only. This is what it looks like. They're quite inexpensive. You can get it right off of their website, which is BOTA.org. I think they're only like, it's less than $10 if I remember, like $8 or something. Okay, now the next deck is one that I just got this week. It's a reissue of the Visconti Sforza deck. It comes in a very nice big box called the Golden Tarot, the Visconti Sforza deck by Mary Packard. It comes in that box. This box is inside of it. There's also a book, hardcover book, like so, and it also comes with, considering the size of the cards, it's a fairly undersized wrap, but it's nice to at least they packaged one. It's really quite nice of them to do. Now, I had in my old deck series covered the Visconti Sforza with this particular deck, and which is much smaller, and it also has gilded backgrounds. These do not have gilded backgrounds, and actually I think it makes it easier to view the designs on the card. These I might be able to fit because they're narrower. They're taller, but they're narrow. So that's the Fool. Chariot. Now these cards are not labeled, which is, you just have to know your cards. There's the Devil and the Sun. Here's the Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, Five of Coins. That looks like it's the Eight of Staves. The odd thing with this deck, which I didn't notice until I got it, and then I went back and looked at my other deck, and I noticed it's the same, is the person who is being painted in as, this is the Knave or Valet, and the Knight. This is Cups, this is Swords. Here's the Queen of Coins and the King of Staves. It's the same person. Every single court card has the same face, and it looks like it's a woman's face. It's very unusual, but they are, I went through all the court cards and they're all the same person. Then I went and looked at the next deck, which is the Cary-Yale Visconti, and it's the same way. So I don't know who that person is, but their face is on all of the court cards of the Visconti, both Visconti Tarot decks. So that's my last deck, which is also the biggest, tallest one. It's the Cary-Yale. That's the back side. They're just plain yellow. You can see through that hole there. There's the Fool. And the Chariot. The Devil. The Sun. The Ace of Swords. 5 of Cups, 8 of Coins, and 10 of Wands. These cards are very hard to read. They look like they are, in fact, photocopies of the originals in most cases. Some of them, I believe these two are reproductions because these do not exist with the originals. So they had an artist re-render them. I can move those out of the way. Here's the Page of Swords, Prince or Princess of... Oh, actually, I forgot. In Cary-Yale, there are 6 trump or court cards. There's 2 pages, a male and a female. There's 2 knights, a male and female. And then there is a king and a queen. And these are all swords, and I picked it because, again, and you can tell, this looks like a redo, but it's the same face on all of the court cards, regardless of whether it's a male or female, and they're all female faces. Some of them are just dressed as like the knight or king, or as a male page. That's actually the knight. The knight and the lady, page, valet, and king and queen. And you know these are the king and queen because they're seated on thrones. That's the only way you can tell. You know these are the knaves and pages because they're outstanding in the grass, and the knights and ladies because they're seated on horses. And that's how you can tell which court card is which. Okay, that does it for this set of videos. I hope you enjoyed it.